It's 3 o'clock on a Monday. Is it snowing where you are? Because it sure as hell is snowing where I'm at. Went to bed last night. Porch was clear. Yard was clear. Driveway was clear. Woke up today. 4 inches of snow on everything. I'm over it. I'm over the snow. I'm ready for it to be warm. Hello, friends. If you are keeping up, the Olympics have officially come and gone, and now we have nothing to do for 4 more years until it takes place in France for the winter again. But if you were watching the Olympics this year, we took home 33 medals. U.S. took home gold in hockey for men and women, beat Canada at their national sport. First time in 46 years that men have brought home the gold for hockey. Not for Canadians. They beat the Canadians. Of course, we're all real proud of Alyssa Lewin's figure skating, killing it, doing a good job. We had the final ceremony at the Verona Amphitheater, which is one of the oldest amphitheaters in the world. It was built in 30 AD out of pink and white limestone. It's considered a cultural landmark because of its acoustics. I've been there. That's the only reason I know so much about it. But it used to be where they had gladiatorial campaigns and concerts, and then they refurbished it and made it better, and it used to hold 30,000 people. Now it holds 22,000 because of safety concerns, and that's where we had the Olympic closing ceremonies, which was pretty cool, except that I can't figure out why everybody from Italy was dressed up like cardinals. It's weird. But oh well. So, if you're going to go look for Nancy Guthrie, no need to worry. Dog the Bounty Hunter is on the case. They've called in Dog. I say we'll find her by supper. I am genuinely concerned why you have to have a permit to go searching for an 84-year-old missing woman. Also, riddle me this, why you have to show 2 forms of ID to shovel snow in New York City. You don't have to show it to vote. You just have to show it to shovel snow. And what's surprising is there's just as many people volunteering to shovel snow as there was to be on ice. It's like they just can't wait for winter. But, you know, it is what it is. If you haven't had a chance to watch the Diane Sawyer interview of Eric Dane, please do. Oh, my gosh, breaks your heart. Broke my heart. And hello from Arizona. But hello, Lori. How in the world are you? Good to see you. So they're bringing in Dog the Bounty Hunter to look for Nancy. The Clintons are being deposed this week in Arkansas. Look forward to that. I don't know if anything will happen. Nothing ever does. But just in case you want to keep up. Trump is now declassifying all alien documents because Obama couldn't keep his mouth shut about it. And my personal theory is that when they do release the alien documents and then Jesus comes back and all half of us go to heaven during the rapture, they're going to say that that was an alien abduction. So just write it down now. It's all a diversion. Even in the book of Ecclesiastes, King David says, everything is useless. There is nothing new under the sun. Everything has been done before. It's as useless as chasing the wind. It's right there in Ecclesiastes 1. It's in the Bible. This has all happened before. And everybody's like, this is brand new. I don't know what to think about it. Well, it just hasn't happened to you in your lifetime yet, but it's happened to somebody else in their lifetime, and that's why they wrote history books, which is why you should learn them, instead of just getting all your information from a 3-inch black mirror. But what do I know? I'm just a country music singer. Speaking of being a country music singer, Bunny reached out to me. Bunny XO, Jelly Roll's wife, reached out to me. Apparently, enough people had tagged her in my question about could we see her address book that she felt the need to talk back to me. She also said that I could have just texted her and asked her, which I replied, I texted you 3 years ago and you just saw it today. So how would have that worked out? But anyway, there's nobody that she can help us with, and she's going to write another book and tell more stories. So at least that name is clear. Now we need to get a hold of Garth Brooks. Anybody got his number? But I do appreciate the fact that she handled it like an adult. She handled it like a professional. Instead of blasting me on Facebook for something that didn't need to be blasted because I didn't do anything wrong, I just asked a question. She contacted me and we settled it like professionals and adults. I will say, without naming any names, and in the past 90 days, she's probably one of the most professional people that I've worked with online. Everybody else tends to start a hate campaign when things don't go their way, and everybody calls them out on their victimhood. But I will give props to Bunny. We talked for about 2.5 hours about chickens and turkeys and her growing up in Texas on a farm, and she loves turkeys, but she's scared of chickens, and she was wanting to ask me about the post, and I said I didn't spread hate. I just asked a question, but thanks for answering it. So, for those of y'all that got your panties in a wad and told me that I was jealous, I'm not jealous of anything or anybody. Jealous implies that I want something that ain't mine. I got everything I want. I am protective of the things that I do have. So, calm down. It occurs to me that a lot of y'all like to run your mouth just to hear the rocks moving around in your head, and you really don't have anything to say, but you do like to call me names. That's okay, but until you can come back with an intelligent rebuttal, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore the insults. Because I have found if you start name calling, you've done lost the argument because you have absolutely no intelligent rebuttal. Prove me wrong. You can't. So, is what it is. In other news, the Reiner case kicks off today in Los Angeles, where Rob Reiner's son has murdered him and his wife. He is going to plead insanity, I do believe, but he is up for either the death penalty or life in prison. Either way, don't kill your parents. Things that should be common sense, but apparently isn't anymore. So, it is what it is. But today was on the morning dish this morning with Sing Phillips down in Georgia. That was this is my second time on the dish. They've asked me back a third time. But then again, I'm going to go back and visit a third time. But there is a reason why I'm the cigarette mom and I have my own show. I'm not really a regular on anybody else's show. I'll be a guest star, but I'm not really a regular. At least not for free. So my time is valuable, which is why I don't waste it. There's only so much of it. And even though there's 24.8 hours in the day and we're only celebrating 24 and we have 366 days a year because it's a leap year, and even though we should have 13 months of 28 days instead of the 12 that we have because Caesars are an asshole, it's all right. It's all right. It's all been done before. So, just keeping up. I had one of my chickens get stuck between the wall of the coop today and the pallet that I made it out of, like in the little, this much space, and her wings were all winked out. So I was like, yeah, this is my day. This is my day. Todd Chrisley reposted me. Bunny responded to me. I lost a diamond out of my wedding band. My ex-husband has been diagnosed with cancer. And I got a chicken that's sick. It's been a hell of a weekend. Been a hell of a weekend. So, and then if you are the praying kind, besides all of that, to keep, on the forefront when you're talking to the Father, my Aunt Shirley has fallen and been taken to the ambulance by ER, and she's 90 years old. So that concerns me, too, because I'm snowed in and can't get to her. Somebody got to her, like the family's there. I'm just not there with them. So praying for Aunt Shirley because she did have a little tumble. Bunny should have me on the podcast. I don't think she will, but, whatever. My biggest concern, though, is that with me with 260,000 followers and all these other people with millions of followers, why my opinion matters so much to them. Why am I taking up space in their head rent-free? Why are they so concerned about my opinion when I'm a chicken farmer who writes country music songs in West Virginia? Seems a little strange to me that they're that concerned about what I have to say on the matter, but it could be the fact that I have a really big mouth, a really loud stage, and everybody's wanting to watch what I'm saying instead of them. So, I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just report the news. That's all I do. But it is concerning to me that out of my phone book, there's been about 9 or 10, 10 if you count yesterday, 10 people who are social media influencers that have well over 1 million followers that have called me for either advice or to talk about something. And I'm like, what do you think I know? Why are you worried about my opinion? Why are you worried about what I'm saying? I ain't nobody. I'm not being paid off by a label or by a publicist or by a promotion specialist. I'm not being managed. I'm not being, heralded. I'm not being handled. The only person I answer to is that man up there in the sky. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing I'm scared of, too. So a lot of people are like, you better be careful of what? The Lord is for me, who could be against me? I ain't scared. I know where I'm going if I happen to leave this world to head to the next one. I ain't worried about it. I am worried about getting to the Walmart and having to fight everybody whose first day on earth was today. What is that? What is that at the grocery store that it's everybody's first day as a human? Can we all just agree to start taking back guerrilla rules in the middle of the Walmart? I saw 2 kids the other day throwing stuff at each other across the produce aisle, and I'm like, where's your parents? This is not a playground. This is a Walmart. It's also not a place to display your public affection for the person that you love the most. I don't care how much you love her. Get your hand out of her back pocket. She's shopping for beans. But I do have to fight the mob today to go get some sweet tea and some milk and some bread because I didn't read the weather, and I'm sure that there's none because everybody said snow today, and I ran plumb out of milk, and I wanted to make muffins today and couldn't. So I think I'm just going to be that asshole in the Walmart now. when I walk in and they're on the wrong side. Or, oh, the other day when I was in there and a woman had her buggy cross the damn aisle, cross the damn aisle, cross the damn aisle. Everybody knows you go down this way and up this way just like you do on the road. She's crossed the aisle and she's reading the ingredients on a can of corn. Let me save you some time, Onlene. It's corn. I understand that's the only social interaction that SEPTA and octogenarians have in this day and age because everybody has kind of put them to the side or told them that they should stay inside. That's cool. Be nice to them. Be friendly with them. Don't get in the way. Move. 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 And I'm going to be that person that didn't stand there and go, I'm going to go, excuse me, move. We'll have a new president by the time that she figures out which can of corn that she wants. That's our problem. We've become too busy worried about hurting people's feelings that we don't actually just correct people on being stupid. Well, they don't know no better. They do. They're just being an idiot. Well, they can't help it. They can, and they won't. Well, bless it. No. Hit it. Right in the mouth. Get it out of the way. It's corn! God. Anyway. So, looking ahead into the week ahead of us, this is the last week of February. So, we're going into the last week wholeheartedly. We're watching the State of the Union together tomorrow night. And I think it's really fair that the Democrats have got the governor of Virginia to be the rebuttal for their side. That's like Lindsay Lohan speaking at an AA meeting. It's just like, what do you have to share with the class? You're taxing the crap out of your citizens. You hate everybody. You hate Trump. You hate your own state. What could you possibly have to say about the other 49 states and how Trump's running them? I mean, just me? Okay, it's fine. It's probably fine. No one has any situational awareness. None. None. Don't look up. The moon's not in the right spot. Probably because the moon's not real. Oh, just in case we're all keeping track, Artemis 2, the rocket that was supposed to go do a little drive-by by the moon to see where we're going to land for the first time. Because we didn't really do it in the 60s. We lied to get ahead of Russia. But anyway, now all of a sudden they can't launch it. Something's wrong with the rocket. So it might take a week. It might take a month. It might take an ever. We might never go to the moon. I think what everybody's kind of missing here is that we're not supposed to get there. We're not supposed to go there. We're not supposed to land there. We're not supposed to know what's going on. We're not supposed to know that the moon is hollow and it's actually a control station and not a satellite. We're not supposed to know that. It's not supposed to look like that in our sky. We're not supposed to know that. But those of us who do think it's funny. I get tickled when people look at me and they go, you still believe in the moon landing? And I'm like, you still believe in the moon? We lied. We lied. Which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody since we've lied about everything since the dawn of time, including Columbus Day. But we lied. We've not been to the moon. Probably not going to go. Just letting you know. So it is what it is. Make your own deferment. Thank you. The crest is upside down. I was told in school that if it could never look like that from where we were standing because of the reflection of the sun. The reflection doesn't shine like a flashlight. I'm sorry, it doesn't. So all of it seems sus. I just ain't worried about it. I'm probably not going to get off the ground that high anyway, no matter how much weed I smoke. So I ain't worried about going to the moon. I am, however, worried about things falling from the sky and landing on people. I am worried, however, about the Lord coming back and some of y'all not being ready. I am worried that we're headed into a civil war because y'all can't seem to get along and figure out what's in a can of corn. That's what I'm worried about. Oh, thank you for that. Appreciate you. The news always comes out better when I look like a kitty cat. Meow, meow. So, in the meantime, today is Monday the 23rd. Yesterday was designated by Donald Trump as Angel Day. The Lake and Riley Act has now arrested 21,000 illegal immigrants since its inception a couple years back. And Trump has made the Angel Day in honor of Lake and Riley and other families like hers who have lost somebody because of the illegal immigrants and the havoc that they're causing. Speaking of havoc, Mexico's drug cartels are just bombing the hell out of Puerto Vallarta. Stay in place if you're an American down there. Try not to get out. If you can get home because the cartels are pretty pissed and they're just bombing everything. There's that. Peace deals between the Ukraine and Russia are not going well. Kim Jong-un has been reelected as the leader of the North Korean party. And giant tortoises are back on the Galapagos Islands for the first time in 150 years. So take that, Darwin. If you're keeping up with the Olympics, the winter ones are over. The next one's going to be in France in 2030. But if you're going to be at the summer ones, they're going to be in California in 2028. I think we're adding 2 new sports to this year's Olympics for the LA Olympics. I think we're going to add carjacking and gender reassigning. So we'll see who medals in that. In the meantime, I have to go to the post office and send out some of the handwritten lyrics that y'all have ordered. Thank you so much for that. I still have 22 copies left of the Like Charlie lyrics. I only made 31. So if you want that to keep with your collection, they are handwritten, they are on canvas, and I will ship them right to your door. We're going to have some new merchandise at the Emery Steakhouse show in Hurricane on March the 14th. That is a free show. There's no tickets for that one. You just get to come. So take advantage, because everywhere else you have to pay to see me. But we're working on a new show for that, and pretty excited about that. I'll have some new merchandise, stickers, and whatnot. Just, one baby step at a time, because there's only me and my husband running this ship. Everybody thinks that there's a whole team of people that's working for me. No, I don't have that kind of money, power, or influence, even though other people think that I do, and that's why they call me on Saturday afternoons to talk about chickens. But that's okay. I think it's because I'm the cigarette mom, and I'm going to say what you're thinking. I'm going to say what we're all thinking. I'm going to take us on the back porch and be like, you might want to return that stuff to Janice's house because you're selling it off for crack, and we have it all cataloged, and we know that you stole it. I think that I'm going to be the one that says, maybe you shouldn't cheat on your wife when we all know who your girlfriend is in court. But I'm going to be the one that says, don't eat that. It's going to make your ass big. I'm going to be the one that says, you can't drink with bariatric surgery. It don't work. Somebody needs to say it, because y'all aren't reading the warning labels anymore, and you're not listening to good reason and thought. And instead, you're playing a victim and wanting everybody else to cover your problems because you're too stupid to figure it out for yourself. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Have I ever seen Bigfoot? I went to prom with him my junior year. He had better hair than me. Yes, Bigfoot exists. If that's what you're worried about, listen, anybody who's ever been to Appalachia knows that once you start marrying in the bunch every 2 or 3 generations, then, you'll come out with the Bigfoot. So I don't think that it's as much a anomaly as it is just a byproduct of inbred. But, whatever. What do I know? Capital One, what's in your wallet? Listen, can we talk about Jennifer Gardner? I don't know if she's sponsoring a farm or a credit card anymore. I don't know if she's flying on a plane. What's in your wallet? What's in your fridge? Once upon a farm, once upon a plane. I don't know what's going on with her. To me, she's still 13, going on 30 and trying to get back with Ben Affleck. I don't know what's going on in the world, but I don't know why she's in every single commercial. And while we're talking about commercials, why is every single movie that's coming out in the next 6 months about getting the hell off Earth before it explodes? Why is every single commercial about AI and how can it help you not do your job? Why is every commercial about things that do not concern us as normal people in a 3D reality? Everything is being 2D'd. Everything is being conditioned to stay at home and get back on your phone. Does anybody else feel like we're maybe headed towards another pandemic? Anybody ever feel like we're headed towards something else that they're going to try to control us with? Because that's what it kind of feels like. Grow your own food, smoke your own pot, mind your own business. Mailman. I do not know why he walks on snowy days like this and wears shorts. Maybe he's a smoker. I don't know. Did I sell the hat? One of them is still in there. I need to post it online. I have the Tree of Life hat is still available if you want it. And I'm working on one for my friend Jeannie, and it should be done this week. So, working. It's just, I'm home this much between singing and running my mouth. So, I've got to... Oh, I'm glad you said toilet paper, Bethany, because I'm down to my last 2 rolls. And we're having chili for supper, so I'm going to need more. Plan ahead. If you're going to have a meal that causes a lot of havoc on your indigestion, plan ahead. Nothing worse than being in the bathroom or the outhouse, as I have been before, and you can't call and ask for more toilet paper. You just have to penguin waddle it out to the Sears catalog. So, grow your own pot and smoke your own food. Yeah, that too. Whatever floats your boat, whatever tickles your pickle. Everybody was laughing. They said, "You get your shots during COVID?" I was like, I took a bunch of shots during COVID. I was white girl intoxicated. I was white girl vaccinated. I took everybody else's shots. But as far as something in my bloodstream, no, just pot. I don't deal with needles. I kind of don't want to get a new tattoo anymore either. I mean, I'm kind of over needles in general. So, if I can roll it up and smoke it, I'll probably enjoy it. If it takes any kind of preparation other than picking it out of the garden and putting it in a pipe, it's probably not for me. Those things tend to kill you. The more people that have their hand in the pie, the worse that pie is, You can't help but wonder that maybe God and an angel standing around, and God's like, what are they doing down there? The angel's like, they're making milk out of nuts. And God's like, what? And the angel's like, they're making milk out of nuts. God's like, why? I literally made 8 different animals that make milk. And the angel's like, yeah, they don't like any of that milk. That's where we are in the world right now. That's where we are. Oh, I do love venison chili. Deer chili, for those of y'all who don't know what venison is. Where's my free show? It's going to be at Emma Ray's Steakhouse on March the 14th in Hurricane, West Virginia. So come on down. That show starts at 7 o'clock. So you have about 3 weeks to plan. Get a sitter, figure out how to get there, get you a hotel, whatever. You have read that potheads are less gullible and less likely to manipulate. Yeah, we don't like authority. We don't like people telling us what to do, where to smoke, what to smoke, and how to smoke it. We really don't care. Turn up the music, give us something to eat, and make sure the Cartoon Network's on. Everything else, you don't really... My uncle was a state trooper for 30 years. He said, never in the history of me being a state trooper did I ever have to break up a fight between potheads. It just doesn't happen. Personally, since they're doing contrails, chemtrails, and 5G discombobulation warfare among everything else that they're doing, why don't they do like Disney does and just like, here's some weed and just release it into the air? Like, when we just like sage the whole day. Can we be like that priest in Naples, Italy in the 30s who said that the town was so evil that he went up in a helicopter and saged and exorcised the whole town? It did not work. But I did like what he thought, and I thought maybe if he had used marijuana instead of sage, everybody would have chilled the hell out and there wouldn't have been as much organized crime in the 30s. But what do I know? I wasn't alive and nobody asked me. But my experience, anything that is manufactured with a man involved, pills, powders, alcohol, things like that, tends to make you crazy, tends to make you violent, tends to make you talk out of your ass. Things that grow organically in nature, like marijuana. You tend to mind your own, get closer to God, keep to yourself, figure stuff out. Some people are like, well, I'm allergic to it. Well, sucks for you. You're probably allergic to Reese's Cups too, and they're still delicious, but the rest of the world's eating them. So, I'm not going to conform the way that I do things because of 2 or 3 exceptions to the rule. Then don't do it. If it ain't for you, then don't do it. Don't tell me that I can't do it, and don't tell me where and when I can do it, and don't tell me where and when I can buy it, and where I can buy it, and who I can buy it from. That seems a whole lot like control, which I think is the whole point of America, is that we don't have that much control. So, personally, I think that they should get rid of all the alcohol. I've never met one drunk that was reasonable. Ever. Never. You can't argue with stupid, you can't argue with drunks. And you don't have to argue with potheads because we don't argue. We're just going, probably, and then we'll get back to whatever we were doing. But everybody's going to get their panties in a while. There's a pothead. Yeah, I am. Not a crackhead. Not taking my kids' pills. Not selling everything in my house so I can buy more crack. A lot to be said about growing your own stuff, And now they're doing a smear campaign against marijuana again because guess what? They figured out that all of us have figured it out, and that the more pot we smoke, the more we see through the veil. And we see what they're doing, and that this is all just a big simulation. It's the Truman Show, and that we've all been played as patsies for the past 250 years, and we're starting to see behind the curtain. Don't be smoking the devil's lettuce. Okay. My personal opinion is I think that more people in power need to smoke some pot. Maybe they'll see what we're seeing, and they'll go, you know what? We fucked up. We're probably doing it wrong. And I'll be like, yeah, we told you this. Whatever. I used to be a drunk. I used to be meaner than hell. Now I'm just an asshole who smokes pot. And trust me, I'm a lot nicer now. Believe it or not. So, anyway, we didn't mean to get off onto a tangent about that, but we was talking about that. I think that the DARE program actually kind of just trained drug dealers of the future. They were like, these are crack rocks. Don't do crack rocks. This is where you can find crack rocks. This is the street slang for crack rocks. This is how you prepare crack rocks. Don't do crack rocks. Just say no. All I learned from the DARE program is like, when I finally get old enough to do drugs, I'm going to do weed because it seems to be the best one, and I don't have to worry about my teeth falling out or going to prison over it unless I come up across a judge who thinks I'm trying to dodge the draft in Vietnam. That's why the Super Bowl is one of the biggest days for domestic violence. I believe that. I believe that 110%. I used to date a man who used to get pissed off when the Seahawks would lose during the regular season. I couldn't imagine what he would do during the Super Bowl. So, you know, calm down. Smoke a joint. Think about it. Take a nap. Eat a snack. So, you know, there's a reason why they call them spirits. That's all I'm saying. Why leave a door open for the devil? But, I digress. So to summarize, it snowed in West Virginia. We're being hit with a bomb cyclone on the East Coast. New Jersey's under a blizzard warning for the first time as a whole state since 1996. There's a snow day in New York City. You have to show 2 forms of ID to shovel snow, but not to vote. So look forward to that. Ohio's thinking about getting rid of property tax. Florida is doing their own thing. So, you know, whatever. Have fun with that. What else is in the news? Olympics is over. We're still looking for Nancy Guthrie. The Clintons are going to be deposed. Aliens are real. God is real. Do your best. That's pretty much all I know. But in the meantime, if you're new to the porch, we welcome you. We're glad that you're here. We're glad that you're joining us on such a cold and bitter day. I hope that you had a good Monday. Please remember to be nice to each other. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard because you just want to smack the taste out of their mouth because they're so friggin' stupid. But at the same time, remember that we're all God's children and they're just doing the best that they can. Most of the time. It's corn. Move on. But I'm going to get off here and get ready to go to the Walmart and fight the masses. I just want to get on here and talk to you about the fact that the whole bunny thing is cleared up. We're fine. She doesn't know anything. I asked a question. She answered it. Case closed. No one was spreading maliciousness. No one was spreading hate. No one was spreading false narratives. Asking a question, getting answers. Also, the definition of journalism, in case anybody's keeping up, since we don't have that anymore. But in the meantime, friends, I love you, and I mean it. Keep your Bibles open and your powder dry. Don't go crossing over the gate at Mar-a-Lago because they will shoot you for it. Just don't do it. Just, use common sense. I know that it's not so common anymore, but maybe a friend has some that you can borrow a cup of until you can get some of your own off the TikTok shop. But in the meantime, use common sense. Try to love people. I mean, you don't have to like them, but try to love them, you know. Keep your Bibles open and your powder dry and your head on a swivel. Keep a warm cuddle blanket with you in case you see somebody in need. Be nice to other people, animals, and children, and love your neighbor as yourself and give the rest to God. And in the meantime, friends, please remember, and perhaps the most important of all, I'm Sarah Beth Terry. You're not. Bye.